Welcome to the Consolewatch Kitchen, featuring myself, AtomicMan76, and SPLICE. Today we're going to be discussing all things Tier 3 Console Watch.
This podcast was supposed to launch during the preseason, which didn't exist this time. It was actually supposed to be week 1, but then we kind of fumbled the bag a little bit and then tripped and then fell. But it was fine because we're back up now. And week 2's almost over, but it's fine because you didn't see that part, okay?
Yep, exactly.
Anyways, you guys are all going to be seeing our two lovely mascots here. Can we say mascots? I don't think that's the right word.
Avatars, representations?
Avatars? Yeah, representations.
Embodiments? Who knows?
Yeah, anyways. These are the rankings we made before the season even started. It was very funny. I will be uploading soon after this a snippet of a trial that we made where we actually made episode 1 of the podcast. And let me just tell you, yeah, we were wrong. We were very wrong.
We were very wrong.
We were very wrong. I think Atomic was 100% wrong.
Well, the fact that I have a massive mid-tier was already a step in the right direction. And my bottom tier, I feel like, really shouldn't move that much.
It didn't, other than, yeah. I thought Barons were going to be terrible because they died, but then they just pocketed Lemon, and it kind of got them somewhere.
Yeah, Pocket Lemon does just kind of do things. Okay, moving on.
You actually humbly put... Wait, are these in order?
I have no idea.
Okay, mine are.
I think Aces the last square before this was like Aces, but we had awesome Boeing DPS line, so I don't even know if that even counts.
Yeah, the bench buddies. Alright, these are our current power rankings as of before week 2 is over. I think there's only 2 matches to be played. I think it's Bingus versus Frost, and then...
No, Bingus versus Frost is the last one. All the matches have been played.
It is?
Yes, our match is the last one.
Oh, you're right. Wait, Hypnos. What about Hypnos?
They were supposed to play Primal, but they forfeited.
Oh, that's why I have no data on them. Oh, that makes sense. This makes sense. All right, so it's just our match then. Yeah. We're hopefully not going to fumble the bag, but you never know.
You never know. I might accidentally sub myself in on DPS. We'll see.
Oh no! Oh no! Are you still gold? Oh, he's still gold, guys.
Yeah, we're gonna put Splice on like only Brig.
I'm literally Masters 4. I just hit it.
Yeah, I know. I'm also Masters on support. Doesn't mean I'm good at it.
Is there much difference here? I mean, we just saw Primal Warrior sweep Aces. It wasn't a sweep, but you know.
Yes.
I want to let you know, I put Primal Warriors in Dark Horse. I knew from the start. I put Lion Strike there. Forget about this side of the Dark Horse. This side, I went really big.
Yeah, I think you're personally crazy for having any kind of faith in a team made by Dylan.
I had hope that maybe they would like cheat or something, but they just didn't.
Because I thought that the Primal Warriors was just going to fall into the circle of mid, and then they kind of almost put Aces in there. But what I've heard is that they're recovering. They recovered from the fumbling of that.
They had intravenous recovery juice, and they're trying to get back at it. Yeah, not much changed. These were all the week 1 matches.
Nothing crazy.
Well, other than Primal Warriors beating Aces, of course. Don't mind Atomic here.
Yeah, I thought the highlight of the week was going to be the Pack versus Codename, but Codename did not have their full roster, and the Pack had an excellent performance out of Quirky Orc, which kind of just carried them to a 3-0.
That is true. And then Quirky Orc did not show up to the next game. Actually, they did show up. They showed up.
He was there,
one game,
but his performance did not show up.
Yeah, the performance did not show up.
Yeah, his Doom did not cook. I watched the VODs.
And I do not have data on his week 1, so right now Quirky Orc just has a 0% win rate, unfortunately.
Well, he did eviscerate Codename. But,
I played in the Blix versus Shiva game, and not the Bingus one. Man, I tried.
And that's why we didn't drop him. Yeah, you gave it your best effort.
I tried really hard.
Well, yeah, Blix has like 1 week to figure it out before I start moving them lower in my tier list.
Yeah, me too. Now Devin's gone rogue, so you never know.
I mean, he's got shots and what's his face. Well, we can save that for the news later.
Yeah, we can save that for the news. Wait, we have a news section? All right. Anyways, week 2 matches. The only match that hasn't been played yet is Bingus versus Frost. Also, by the way, in future episodes, we're going to be changing this text color here because it's actually giving me brain damage.
Yeah, I know. This is like the best we could do, unfortunately.
It wasn't. He's lying to you, but it's fine.
Small indie podcast. Small indie podcast.
Yeah, small indie podcast. Much like the game we're covering.
Yes.
Barons versus Blix 3-1. I didn't play here, but I won them their only map by rule booking.
That's kind of cringe, man.
Yeah, it was really cringe, but I won
that's
them
a
their
dumb
only
moment.
map. I kind of felt bad, but it was pretty funny because I told them it was gonna happen. Scrimbucks. All right, what are we looking at here, Atomic?
Okay, so one target I know is that they just filled with spike came out in 3-0 pack, and that's literally the only like mad thing I know about them. They do not scrim.
I don't know what I just pressed.
Frost, the only scrim I know of them happening, them beating a T2 team. So that again gives us nothing.
Also, that one time we scrimmed them like 1 week before season started, and it was just terrible. They just got
they've signed a couple people since then.
That's true.
But again, the roster is still not huge.
Do they still have like 6 people on the team or something?
They have like 7 now.
Oh, all right, wait, that's a big improvement. I guess they had extra time since they didn't have
Warriors
to play.
has been playing pretty well in scrims. Lion Strike, there's their Lion Strike. Barons.
Oh, they picked up PJC. I forgot that was Team Envious. They picked up PJC.
Yeah. The PJC and one other person, I can't remember. It was just today, actually.
02 Boopio. Never seen him in my life. PlayStation player.
Yeah, Barons is literally just how hard can you pocket 11. That's all. That's just exactly their strategy. It's just
who's on
team
again?
Fireflame.
In cities.
Well, they have in cities and Fireflame.
Oh, in cities played weak.
Cities is really.
I didn't watch.
Yeah, cities isn't very good at the rest of us. I don't know, but yeah.
I don't know. He kind of diffed Taco. I think Taco was having an off day, unfortunately.
Oh, when Cities was in, I thought Fragster was in. Oh wait, no, Fragster's on Blix. I'm cooking.
Yeah, Fragster's on Blix.
Yeah.
That's
Taco.
Taco.
So Codename. So I don't know. They haven't been scrimming a ton. I haven't known a ton about their scrimbucks recently. I don't really know is that they have Diego, who's decent at tank,
and they have RM6, who's undoubtedly the best diva.
I don't know about that.
I don't think you can argue with RM6 being the best diva in T3 right now.
I don't know. I've literally only seen them play diva once, and I don't know. I probably lucked Winston to do it.
What about like last season?
Oh, last season? I don't know. Last season doesn't really count. But like last season was more Mickey Mouse than this season.
All right, that's true. I did watch the VOD, and RM6 ate like the Grav Dragon combo entirely.
I think they were running Zarya and Hanzo at that point. It's kind of your own fault. Neither of those characters were good then. So like Tundra, I don't know. They lost Robo, Splice, but apparently they're picked Vert, who I did not know was Diamond eligible. But
who?
And then Vert.
Vert is Diamond.
Vert easy. Vert and easy shots. Who are both pretty good. Although the one time I've actually met easy shots was after I beat them in a DPS comp game. So who knows? They lost to Mike Cassidy on Lee Jang, so that's my only experience with them.
They have more staff. Blix currently has more staff signed than players.
Yeah, that sounds about that's just a Blix moment. Hold on, we're not even done yet. Aces, they've made no moves. They just have Stingy. It's just the same thing.
They have so many players too, and they're all good enough.
Stingy, Bocek, and Monkey Boy and Flex DPS, hit scan, bumps, obviously, Sojourn OTP. And then Door and Zex, just kind of running it down still. Hypnos, I don't know. They're on the same tier as Lion Strike, where it's like they're kind of irrelevant unless they make major changes. Bobbert, I think, is slightly above Lion Strike and Hypnos, but still nothing notable as of late. The pack, completely dependent on Quirky York's performance, as we saw. He did not play very well last week. And
Spider shows up sometimes. I think
I think the other DPS outside of Spider was better. Me personally, watching the VODs, but yeah.
What team are we talking about?
His name was Void. Oh, the Pack.
Pack.
Yeah, his name was Void, I think, or something like that.
Zoids. Yeah.
Zoids. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I think he's better, but that's just me personally. I'm not the best judge to tell him on DPS. And then Bingus, no roster changes for Bingus as of late, other than Boeing technically can't play this week, but we're not going to play him anyway.
Yeah, Boeing has played his only match in the entire season on Blix. Good for him.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Unless something catastrophically happens to my thumbs.
Even then, we have Scorpy and S2K.
Real. One of them will just start playing Sojourn. All right.
Yeah, ironically, two of the best hitscan players on the same team. Kind of unfortunate.
Unfortunate.
this is usually something we would have a guest do, but I guess I have to do it this week.
I mean, I can do it too. Come on, give me some credit.
Okay, no. I feel like, okay, so this week I want to highlight Lemon and Alexin for being people who I had no idea existed until the season started, and then they actually decent. Actually, I literally did not know they existed, basically at all. I knew Alexin existed, but he's blown all expectations of Primal Warriors out of the water by beating Aces, who I thought was going to be a top 1 or 2 team.
Yeah.
Week 1, massive upset. Good for him.
Just the starters, they weren't actually running starters on most of the maps they lost. They have 2 tanks. They have 5s, right, which we all know. And then they have the guy who played the first 2 maps, Catfish King, and he kind of got a little boomed on Midtown. But it was fine because they subbed them out and they brought 5s in and they brought Candy in. And then they just they were so much better there with those 2.
Yeah, I think 5s is also.
But I think Catfish just has a bigger tank hero pool than 5s does, but 5s is just better on Orisa Sig.
Yeah, Orisa and Sig. Their other tank brings in JQ and Ramatra. I've seen them on a couple times, which are both those characters are very good in this meta right now. And obviously they're not quite Orisa tier, but they're both very helpful in the specific these situations. If you play around them, there's going to be
an in-season patch. There's going to be another patch at the end of the season, which is
there's going to be another season
2 weeks from now.
It's about a week and a half at this point, I think.
Yeah, so that's good. That's kind of good. Because this patch didn't really shift the meta; it just made Kiriko worse.
Yeah. So what's going to be in that patch is there's going to be Ryan and ball buffs. There were changes to Ramatra's ult and possibly his block. That's what's happening to tanks. Other than that, I don't know a ton of news.
Personally, I don't know what you think they do to the block. I think they're going to give his block a drain meter. Or something around that, like a 10-second drain meter.
Honestly, I would probably just give it a flat nerf of percentage block. What is it? Like you only see
it's receive like 80 now, but it's kind of not that good at blocking damage anyways. Like it does, sure, but
I mean, if you have a team helping you, you literally can't die.
Yeah, but you get CC'd. You get CC'd.
And then you can just keep blocking. There's no penalty for you just holding block and then holding block again. You have a very small window, especially when there's just no CCs in this game. You get speared. Yeah, you can't get flashed or anything like that, or frozen unless you get ulted. You have to commit whole ults just to get through his block. So I would probably just give it a flat nerf to maybe 60.
Personally, I think Joker Queen is pretty good against his ult.
Yeah, I mean his ult. I mean,
her healing negates his passive damage, and then she can go behind him with Gracie and just fuck him up.
Yeah, I don't know. You're also a really good Joker Queen player, and maybe that's just a matchup you have mastered really well rather than
that's true because people were running Ramatra for so long.
Yeah, Ramatra is just really good right now.
Yeah,
he just kind of eats. He can just kind of eat any other tank when he's the thing, and then he can just kind of back up if you give him speed or any kind of help. He can just back up and then spam you with no fall off. Good damage. All right, we kind of went off topic a little bit, but those are my player shoutouts of the week.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. I feel like the DPS players are getting a lot of spotlight right now because the tanks are just doing their job pretty much. You're just playing Orisa. But I think I'll start giving tanks more credit when 1, I watch more VODs looking at tanks, and 2, when the meta shifts and it's not just everyone playing Orisa. I mean, because to be honest, if you roll out on a Junker Queen and you 3-0 a team, you're on the top of my list. But that's just me.
Yeah, I feel like that's valid.
Yeah.
Orisa's just kind of... It's like, yeah, there are good Orisas and there are bad Orisas, but it's just like...
It's kind of what we just got done talking about. I don't think there's been any recent roster moves other than Frost, if I'm not mistaken.
Frost,
who picked up PJC, and they picked up... The Bupio they picked up. They picked up Bupio.
Yeah, and then Blake's lost. Boeing is no longer on the team.
They lost Robo. They lost Boeing, who showed up once, and they lost me as a manager. All I was doing was just coaching their DPS to just stay behind their Orisa.
I'm going to see if there's any moves that I'm forgetting. I have literally not seen. There's been very little free agent movement. When teams start to disband or make a push for it to be championship caliber, there's generally more moves being made.
I feel like after the mid-season Usually what'll happen is a team will figure out they can't make playoffs and they'll slowly, like, the talent there tries to leave. So I don't think we have anyone who's going to do that yet, but maybe like Pack if they don't pick their shit up.
Yeah, but I wouldn't really see any of them getting picked up by any championship contenders.
I mean, Barons could always use some help.
But then again, I don't.
I mean, Beans is really good. Never mind. No, I mean their DPS is fine. Just maybe another role.
Yeah, I'm not really super confident in their tank or support. So
most teams have, other than like, of course, the not T3 teams. Most teams have enough talent that they could. They could beat the championship.
It's like any given week, they could really just have just an amazing week and pop off and win most of the time.
Which is a good sign. It's a good sign.
Yeah. And not much really happening in the T3.
I mean, roster moves, Devin is going to make a lot of roster moves.
Yeah, those will be coming before this next game.
Yeah.
Other than that, not many moves have been made recently that are noteworthy. I'd assume more moves will be made before the games next week, because now teams are starting to realize where they kind of sit. Power rankings wise, it's like, dang, we've been kind of getting rolled in scrims and games. We might actually have to make some free agent moves.
Yeah, but thankfully there's probably going to be a free agent showcase, wink wink, nudge nudge, soon, probably.
Yeah, that might be on the horizon. I am working with people with that.
We don't know what's going to be special about mid-season tournament yet, which is surprising. I feel like we should have known by now, or would have known.
Well, I don't think they can really add anything special yet. This is the first tournament they've had. I don't think it'd be fair to add anything like hero bands yet. But I feel like in future tournaments that would be a good addition.
Well, not special, but like they haven't even told us how many circuit points we're going to get.
Well, yeah, but didn't they release that it was like going to be like the top like 6 or 8 teams already? I feel like they announced that already.
Did they? They might have, and I just wasn't paying attention. Last time it was first place gets an entire map win, a game win, which is like a 3-0. They get 3-0, right? And they get a game win. And then second place gets 3 maps.
Yeah, it's like on top of all their tournament wins, they get a game win.
Yeah.
As a reward.
To help you in the regular season, kind of like how Owl does it.
Yeah, so that will determine end of season seeding.
And it makes a difference if a team shows up during the tournament, which is nice. So I mean, if you wanna get your shit together before the tournament and then rock everyone, you could really slingshot your way out of like D tier.
Yes, I completely agree with that.
Anyways, we are looking for guests. We are looking for guests.
Bacon was originally going to be our guest, but we decided not to have a guest this week.
That's true. We just kind of threw everyone under the bus because it's Sunday and it's kind of late.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so we're not going to stay on this slide because we didn't have we forgot to delete it.
But anyways, back to slide 1. You should go follow Atomic Man 76. Who let's how do we sum up your Twitter, Atomic? How do we sum up your Twitter?
It's occasional sports takes and occasionally me being disappointed in Consolewatch.
And that's occasionally you being when you start playing comp, occasionally you saying that you're just in the Twilight Zone. He does lose his mind a lot.
I'm in some kind of a
most recent poll from Mr. Atomic Man 76 is at Atomic Man _76. More motivational, Optimus Prime or Captain America?
Who's winning that poll, by the way? I haven't checked.
I haven't voted, but it's 9, so I assume it's going to be close to being tied. I'm going to say Captain America, and he's losing. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Captain America makes great speeches, but I will literally stand up in the movie theater for Optimus Prime and give him a round of applause. I feel like his speeches are just the best.
Yeah, I don't remember any of them. I probably watched all those movies when I was like...
I rewatched some of the Transformers movies recently, just because I was bored.
Oh, yeah. You do that when you're bored. And then my Twitter, which I don't post in. I said I was going to post in, and then I didn't. I mean, now it's just me... Never mind. Bullying Atomic Man 76 or plugging podcasts, but it's whatever. We won't talk about that part. And well, that's pretty much it for right now.
Yeah.
Highlight for next week. Highlight for next week.
Short and sweet.
Highlight
Guests.
for next week. Guests. We will have a guest. We promise. Pinky promise. And
it may or may not be bacon.
it may or may not be bacon. Second thing.
If you want to be a guest, please DM me.
Or me.
I want people who
no one ever DMs me.
Yeah, please DM me because we would like it for it to be someone outside of the org. I feel like that adds variety and stuff.
True.
In the
Like if someone, hold on, someone from Codename Misfits, Spirit MP4. We're talking to you, man.
Yeah, I highly doubt he's going to watch, but if he does, please come on the podcast.
That's
or anyone
true.
from Codename. Because none of the podcasts have talked with anyone from Codename yet.
That's true. Or Lion Strike, but they're irrelevant. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yes.
All right.
Any team who's actively competing and has any kind of competitive takes, we are willing to receive you as a guest.
That's true. You can talk about whatever you want, and hopefully we'll have a patch out in 2 weeks from now. And also, hopefully everyone will have more time to look at SPLICE's statistical spaghetti and and give more player rankings. I'll reveal that later. Because right now it's just everyone's win rates from week 2 because the codes got wiped for week 1. Very sad moment, but it's fine.
Yeah. I will also be looking through codes possibly for like a highlight of the week. If there's a notable highlight of the week, I will go through all these week's codes and possibly next week's if it.
Ooh, I can put together a little montage like a top 10, top 5 because 10 is a lot. Top 5 plays.
Five is a lot considering there's only like 5 games a week and some of them
top
are
5
really
plays.
Yeah, I know. I think it's kind of ambitious. I think we should do 2 or 3. But you know what? We can discuss this after the podcast. So for now, we're gonna wrap it up.
But if you think you have a good play and you want me to look at your VOD and make a little montage, DM me. I do that now because DaVinci Resolve goes burr.
Yep. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you very much for tuning in. Follow us on Spotify. We're not there yet, but we'll be there soon one day. Small indie podcast company. And yeah, the Olympus Org YouTube, which you should probably be watching this on. Anyways, see you guys and have a great time.